introduce yourself to the people.
Greetings and humble salutations. I am Shirley Jean-Pierre, a recent graduate of the illustrious Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, where I earned my degree in biology with a focus in pre-dentistry.
That is what you call an introduction, everybody.
It's a FAMU introduction for you.
You know, they don't teach us that on the other side of the day.
Well.
But, so I have a few questions, to ask, and I'm sure the people might want to understand, but tell us a little bit about your transfer experience. We know, we've heard a little bit about the insight from recent episodes about the FSU transfer experience, but there was just some people that might have made the decision to go to FSU or FAMU. So tell us a little bit about where you transferred from and your experience.
So initially, I did my first year at TCC. I went to TCC for about a year. There I was kind of ready for the university kind of lifestyle. I felt like at TCC, I didn't really get much out of it. I just felt like I went to school, got the grades, went home, went to work, and I kind of wanted more, being that I moved away from home to come to school. Transferring to FAMU was great. Initially, honestly, I did want to transfer to Florida State. I'm not sure what changed that direction, but being at FAMU was great. I don't even know, where do you want me to start? Like, how was the transfer process, or like, what you want me to?
Yes, was it because for instance, being a transfer at FSU, it can be a little harder for some students because you're kind of like a small fish being dumped into a big pond, especially if you're a minority. You're in a pond that you might not be used to. So, I'm sure, was it easy for you, or people more welcoming?
I will definitely say I didn't have the minority problem, being that FAMU is a historically black college campus. But I will say the little fish being thrown in a big kind of pond is a thing that I kind of had to deal with. I was familiar with a couple of people that I knew from back home who were also at FAMU, but it's kind of like a lot of people have already established their friendships and their relationships with people their freshman year. So when you transfer in, you're kind of getting added on to already established relationships, or even if you're even kind of shy, it just takes a while to get out there and get to know people, essentially, or become active in things that are going on. It takes a while ultimately, but I will say that FAMU helps with that because they have a lot of opportunities for you to do things. So there's plenty of things that if you're interested in pageants, go do a pageant, get to know the contestants, boom, you make some friends. If you're interested in, I don't know, something sports related, join an intramural team. There's so many different things that you can do out there. If you're interested in service, VSO was the volunteer student organization. You can join that, and meet a variety of people through that. So I think they definitely throw that option out there. And then there's TSA also, which is the transfer student organization that's on campus. Right. So there's definitely a lot of opportunities to get involved, to not be that little fish in the pond. You just if you want to, you just gotta go get it, basically. But it's out there.
That pretty much leads me to my next question. Would you say getting involved is easier for students who are already at the school, or for a transfer student, would it be easy to get involved? Basically trying to say, would it be harder for them to get into certain things? Do people get denied from trying to orders and stuff, because they're not notable enough, or they're not known already?
I think it all depends on your personality, not more so it could. Okay, so as a transfer student, for example, when you come in, so FAMU has a big showcase that they do when people transfer over, and you get a chance to see all the organizations. They let you know, and then they have their summer bee where they kind of push their students into things that the campus has to offer. And I would say the only difference is that as a transfer student, when you come in, you have no idea about those organizations. You kind of find out as you go. Mm-hmm. Maybe, I don't know, you go to class or something and somebody says, hey, I'm in a pageant, you want to come? You're like, oh snap, FAMU got pageants? So in that case, it could be a little harder. But again, I feel like when you want to join something or you want to be a part of it or you know about it, I don't even know if it's about being well. I don't even know what's the best way to say that. Like, I don't know, like, if you want to do something, you kind of just put yourself in the right position to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though you may not know people, get to know people, you know? If that's really what you want to do, in other words.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Would you like to tell us a little bit about your involvement?
Sure. Where you want me to say all my stuff?
Yeah, from
my freshman year or my first year. So my first year at FAMU, my first semester, I was trying to manage how to transfer. I was trying to deal with. Now I have these classes that are intense. I'm a science major, so that first semester they threw me in all of my bio, all of my chemistry, so that was tough dealing with. And once I was able to kind of get a grasp of that, my spring semester, that's when I kind of got involved in things. So I know I mentioned pageant a lot, but that's because I did one. So my spring semester, I did a pageant, I won. So I guess, I don't think it's about who you know, maybe, you know, just get out there. I did a pageant my spring semester and I won. Then I went ahead and became a member of the Haitian Cultural Club. So again, whatever you want to do, there's something there out there for you. So I'm Haitian, so I joined the Haitian Cultural Club. Yes, my boulet, I'm here. Let's see. I joined the NAACP. I joined Big Sister, Little Sister, which is like a mentoring group. So I made more friends through that too. What else did I do? Then I got a executive position. I'm trying to periodically go through it. Then I got an executive position for the Haitian Culture Club. Then I became a member of the Pre-Dental Society. Got an executive position for that as well. Then I, spring 19, initiate of the Real Beta Alpha chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. And I also created my own organization. It's actually a national organization, but I chartered it on campus specifically for pre-dental students. So I think that's everything. But yeah.
That's a lot. I couldn't even keep up on
I'm sorry.
one hand. These are all great things, It sounds like you really made your mark on campus and enjoyed your transfer experience. My next question has to do more so with the culture at FAMU. Would you say it was like hard, or it can be hard for like somebody to make friends, or because I know I hear a lot that HBCUs are more like family oriented, but I also get the impression from sometimes that HBCUs can be more judgmental than like PWIs, like based off like, say if I'm like my clothes aren't up to date or if I'm not looking, you know what I'm saying, would that affect me making friends, or would I still be able to
like find, okay, so my best thing for that, I don't know so much about judgmental, I would say, but it is definitely family oriented. I will say that the classroom dynamic is great. Honestly, when it comes to academics and everything, I can always find somebody to study with. I can always find a professor who's willing to help me, stay past, hours and stuff to help through with everything. So that, I would say, is definitely family oriented. But in terms of, I would say that wherever you go, you find your group, So just piggybacking off of me joining HCC, for example, the Haitian Culture Club, I found my group, I may not be someone who is flashy, dressy, all that stuff, and that's that particular group. You get what I'm saying? So yeah. I wouldn't kind of have not a general, but a specific view of a HBCU or a FAMU, because everybody has their group, So everybody is unique in their own way, if that makes sense. So like, just because I may not be into the flashy doesn't mean that I'm now an outcast, because there's other people who aren't like that as well. You get what I'm saying? So, and I don't think people who are flashy or like that would judge other people for not. That's just their demeanor, or their persona. So.
That's good stuff. My next question would be, was there anything like specific? It could be like a resource or, I would say resource at FAMU that like helped you specifically, like more than others, like it could be like an academic resource or like a place that everybody goes to hang out, or like what, I guess you say like what do you think was the most beneficial part of like something? What was the most beneficial thing that you got from FAMU?
Academic wise or anything all around?
I would say all around.
All around. I'm gonna have to piggyback on that family dynamic. I'll say that. I'll say the family dynamic that FAMU offers is probably the biggest thing that kept me around, or, so excited, I guess, to be a student at FAMU. Because it doesn't just, it's not just the students who are family based, it's the professors as well. I can say like I mentioned before, like anything that I would actually, I have professors who have served as like just mentors, not just as a professor. Like I can walk into my professor's office and say, man, like this is how life is hitting me today, and they'll sit there and they'll help me, they'll talk me through it, they'll give me advice what to do. So I would honestly say it's that. Like there's professors now that I need recommendation letters, I need this, they're like, yeah man, I got you, like stuff like that. Like it's just a real big family dynamic, and it helps you ultimately, because college itself could be difficult. College alone, because most time that's when you're by yourself, you're learning yourself, you're trying to figure out how to maneuver through life ultimately. So it's like when you have people who are there to offer advice, or people who are there to help you academically in any way at all, that's always great to have. And I think that's what I admire the most about FAMU.
So beautiful. Touching. Wow, it's really some good stuff. And it's like, I feel like what you said is important, because once again, on the other side of the tracks, it's not necessarily like that. I feel like you have to, at least based off my experience, you have to really go out your way to kind of like get a relationship with your professors and stuff like that, because the class sizes are bigger.
Yeah, ours is like, you maybe have 30 students in a class, maybe, to one professor.
Yeah, like short classes, or not short classes, but smaller classes that I got were probably like around 40 to 50, and I had one that had like several hundred in it. So,
wow,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Most of the time, in that case, the professors, they don't even want you to talk to them for real. They'll tell you they'll have like 3 or 4 TAs, and they'll tell you to speak to the TA instead of talking to them. So that is really good that you got the chance to like get that one-on-one from like professors and stuff like that.
Even my advisors, like I was just thinking, everybody who was in like, even on an administrative level, they were all great. I don't think I've had an encounter that would make me be like, dang, this is why FAMU like this, nothing really like that. So that's one thing that I appreciated the most, that family dynamic at FAMU.
If you had to choose one thing that FAMU could possibly did better to like, I guess you could say enhance your experience, or like something that they were kind of like, you felt that they might have been lacking a little bit, would there be anything, or would you say flawless?
I don't know. What do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean?
So basically, like, I'll give you an example. FSU specifically, someone could argue that they are lacking, they can sometimes lack resources or like opportunities for minority students to feel like welcome, or not even just students, workers to feel like welcome and appreciated, like in their space, as opposed to just bragging about their results and stuff like that, like bragging on minority programs or the work that minority instructors do, as opposed to like paying them more what they were like struggle with, which is being worked on. They don't have to be that specific.
Again, so minority, yeah, I can't really touch on that.
Yeah.
But as far as like what I think FAMU can improve on, I'm gonna speak specifically in my my department, being that I'm a biology student, we don't get much love over there. A lot of things we have to do on our own. Like even for example, like for the Predo Society, so I was president of that. Even going around to like visiting other schools and stuff like that, we kind of did that on our own. Like we funded it all on our own. We did most of that on our own. If any, we kind of had like no idea what's going on. But I will say they show love to other departments. You know, so if you're another student in another department, you might get more love. Or pharmacy, being that they have that school. You know, that's the only thing that I will say, that as far as resources go, FAMU can be a little bit more specific in where an abundant amount of their resources will go. I'll say that. Yeah.
I also see like, it's kind of related, but I also see like FAMU consistently doing like construction and making new dorms and projects.
That's needed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another thing. I didn't get to live on campus. So that's a big thing with getting involved. So when you live on campus, you're right there. You know, something happened, you gotta go. I live 15 minutes away, so I gotta drive, come back, and figure out what's happening. But yeah, I think that's needed. From the dorms that I have seen, that I've been around, that's needed. So it's good that FAMU is taking more of an innovative approach, being that we've been around for so long. 1887, you know, October 3rd, 1887. But being that we've been around for so long, it's good that they're trying to take more of an innovative approach to it, I would say.
I agree with you. I'm running out of questions. I think I have one more. So I'll ask, if you had to choose, like, what was like the best part about like FAMU, like say for like a new transfer that's gonna transfer in, what would you tell them?
My best advice for an incoming transfer student to FAMU would be to not be shy. Not be shy. Don't stay in a bubble. Kind of get out there, get to know people, get to know your professors, get to know the campus. Like, so my first semester, a lot of what I did was I went to class and I went home. I went to class and I went home. Kind of because I didn't know anybody. Even like if I had a 2-hour break between the class, I went home. Right. So it's like, try to get to know people. You know, I know that's kind of hard. Like, you don't walk up to somebody and say, hey, I'm Shirley, what's your name? But joining things helps a lot. Find something that you like, and kind of get yourself acquainted with that. Look online. Like, there's like, I don't know what the system is called now, but it was like OSA, which is like the Student Activities Office, where you can find all the organizations that the campus has to offer. Find out what you like. Email them. When's your next meeting? When's your general body meeting? When you do decide to join these things, be active in them. Go to the community service things. Go to whatever workshops, seminars, panel discussions that they have, and you get to know more people. And the more people you get to know, the more things you find out that are going on. Like, you get more comfortable with being at the school and kind of, you know, showing the school what you have to offer as well. You know, you never know. You might have an idea in your head. You want to start an organization about building logos. You can do that. You know, just find the right people to talk to, find the right people that'll work together with you to have that happen, and you can do it. Like, just get out. Feel free to get out, talk to people, talk to anybody. You just don't stay in the shell, I want to say. I know that's really hard to say and to do, especially for like an introverted person, which I am, honestly, I think. Yeah, but you just gotta go for it, cause you only have your undergrad once. You only have your undergrad experience once, so you might as well make the most of it. Join whatever you want to join. Just make the most of it, honestly. You want college to be the best years of your life, so do whatever you feel like is going to make it the best years of your life. That's my best advice that I would say.
It's like dropping the mic type of advice.
Sometimes you got to drop it.
Goodness
Sometimes
gracious.
you got to drop it. But,
definitely making it hard for me to follow up questions.
I'm sorry.
Like,
I'm sorry. I don't even know what else to. I'm sorry.
this next question, you may or may not have an answer for it, but would you say that like there's like maybe like slept on feature that FAM has, or like something that a lot of people like look over or might not really know about that you think is worth knowing about? Maybe?
That's a great question. It's a great question. A slept on feature that FAMU has. I don't know.
You think people mostly know about everything? Probably.
I don't know. I'm big on, if you want to know something, you go look for it. So
that's a mindset.
Closed mouths don't get fed. Basically, closed mouths don't get fed. It's my theory. So I don't know. I feel like if there was something that you wanted to know, ask somebody. Like, it sounds kind of bad in a sense, but go out and get it. Like, I don't know. Like, if there is something, I hope I found out about it, and I hope I got to experience it as well. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. Like, everything that I wanted to accomplish, everything that I wanted to attain or to get from FAMU, I feel like I did. So I wouldn't know, even if there was something else that FAMU has like incognito or about, it didn't matter to me because I accomplished all what, my aspirations. So
makes perfect sense.
It sounds bad, but you can cut that.
It makes perfect sense. Okay. It's a mindset thing. What you call it? Those were pretty much mostly the questions I had for you. Do you have any questions about me or about you or anything that you might want to know?
Do you guys collab with FAMU TSA?
We have before, actually. Transfer Student Association. I want to say that they reached out to us, but we have like group chats and stuff like that. But things kind of like fell out over like this corona quarantine situation. We probably would have done more programming and stuff together. But I know TSA, they said that they were kind of going through like a rebuilding process. Maybe because I think something about like the e-board or stuff or something like that. But I am aware of TSA. I know a few people. But from what I've seen, I know that they do a lot, and they usually have like TSA weeks and stuff like that. And it looks, from my it looks pretty fun. But I wouldn't know everything, but they look pretty nice.
I would say, like, just because you're at Florida State or just because somebody else is at FAMU doesn't mean you can't cross the train tracks. Don't feel like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a problem. Everybody transfer students, we all just trying to make it out here. So I would definitely, advise merging and getting to know everybody.
I think that's actually a good idea, because, like, most people they don't really have the conversations, I feel like, about like going across the tracks, whether it be on FAM or FSU side, and like actually like reaching out and making friends. I feel like they might feel like, oh, I'm at FSU, so I'm gonna rep FSU, I'm at FAM, FAM. I know the engineering and stuff, they work together and stuff, but like, I don't know even how to go about that. Would you say like you probably just pull up to a set Friday, trying to make friends out there?
I don't know if set Friday is the best.
I guess maybe look at social media for like events or something like that.
Or you could just reach out to somebody.
That's true.
Y'all have a group meeting, so I would just hit up somebody in there.
No, I'm not even just talking about TSA. I'm talking about just like students from FAMU.
Oh, being a part of FAMU things?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, most of FAMU things are pretty open. You can definitely just pull up. If you want to know something, maybe. What do you mean by that? Wait.
I'm saying, like, if I wanted to make some FAMU friends,
Make some FAMU friends is funny. But, I guess go to stuff. I don't know about that. I think I might be the wrong person to ask because I don't know. I don't know much. I don't know.
I know they had a big a bridge the gap event. It was like with
Oh
family and
yeah,
FSU.
they do that.
But that was like a once a year thing, I believe.
I think it's like in the spring.
Yeah, last time it was at the Cascades Park.
You're right. Those are nice too. But there's also some organizations that actually merge with. So like even for HCC, for example, we did a lot of events with FSU. Yeah. So maybe so in cases like that, that's how I ended up knowing more FSU people. Yeah. I don't know. I'm sorry. I think I'm bad at this, but yeah, coming to events will help. Set Friday is a start. Set Friday is fun, so that's a start. Maybe get to know some. I just don't know how a conversation will start at Set Friday. Hey, excuse me, I can't. I don't know. I really don't. I don't know. I'm not sure, but that's a start. You know, going to the events, going to the stuff that they have.
Well, that's pretty much almost everything I have. The last thing I like to finish off with the show, even though you kind of already said many of these, but we like to finish off with a transfer tip. So, if you had a tip that you would give to the transfers out here, what do you think that might be?
I'm gonna try to say something different.
Yeah, that's hopefully.
Oh, not hopefully.
No.
Transfer tip. Transfer tip. If you do get involved, and you start, you know, it's a big transition from coming from like not doing anything or whatever to getting really involved. Don't lose sight of your end goal. You're here in college to graduate. At the end of the day, you want to make sure that is your main focus, honestly. So yes, get involved. Yes, make friends. Yes, community service. Yes, activities. All that stuff. Everything. Go to the stuff. Go to the parties. Do it all, honestly. But don't lose sight of your end goal. Like, you're here to graduate. You're here to matriculate onto the next career path that you have in store for yourself. So don't forget that. I will say that because it can happen. It happens, honestly. But it's harder to pick yourself back up when you lose sight of it. So just don't lose sight of it. Is that the best thing?
No, that's what's good for me.
Tip.
Good stuff.
Transfer tip.
That's been episode 5, everybody. We are